Hi, I'm David Price. I'm the General Manager of Our Strategies. What I want to talk to you about today is a lot of our clients call up the small business owners and they really have trouble with managing staff and cancelling discipline. And what I always teach them is the salt shaker theory. This was documented in a book by Danny Myers, who is a New York restaurateur, and it outlines a principle of constant gentle pressure. So you may ask, what is the salt shaker theory? Well, the salt shaker theory is your standard is putting the salt shaker in the center of the table. And you need to understand, as a manager or a business owner, customers, employees, are all going to move that shaker so it's off center. So it's not where your standard is, which is in the middle, it's off center. And if you get upset about customers, about employees, constantly not following your standard, you're going to go crazy. And this is what we see with business owners when they call up for advice to manage employees, is it's the little things. It just irks them. They think their employees are doing it because they don't like them or because they're not following. You need to understand you can't control human nature, and it's always going to be an employee's role, not on purpose, to test your standards and move your standards. So what I want to go through today is the salt shaker theory, and it's called constant gentle pressure. And I'll talk about each one in its entirety, and then we'll sum up how it all goes. So the first concept I want to talk about is constant. And that's about having a culture of accountability and clearly letting people know what your standards are. So when we use the salt shaker analogy, our standard is it's always got to be in the middle of the table. And there are times when you're going to have formal meetings, but the real concept you need to understand here is you need to be consistent. So every time someone moves off your standard, so they move the salt and pepper shaker, you need to be constantly enforcing that, letting them know this is what you stand for, this is what your expectations are, and you can't not pull people up when it's not in the center 6 days a week and then 1 day a week enforce it, because you're sending mixed messages to employees. So this constant method is, it's much easier to constantly have these conversations, constantly moving people back to your standards, lots of little conversations, and over time it'll get easier. People all the time, this is a really hard management principle to actually imply, but you get it right and you're going to have less issues down the track.